Hi, Cancer. Welcome. So, Cancer, this is going to be a reading. I'm going to start with the general messages, and then we're going to get into the you versus them love reading. And my readings are timeless, so just trust whenever you find this, that's when it's for you, and let's get into it. So, Cancer, as I was meditating to prepare for the reading, I was getting messages about the waiting time being over, right? So I saw like a little in my third eye, a little timer going off. So if you've been waiting patiently for news about something or for movement in a situation or for some of you an ending or change, I feel that coming through during this time frame, the spring time frame. But of course, for some of you, it might be a bit sooner. But yeah, I just feel like if the energy was stopped or stagnant, it's about to flow again. So I was happy to receive that message, as I feel like it was a positive sign. But let's see what else the cards have to say for my Cancerians. Whoops. There's one card and there's two. All right, you have the King of Cups here. Ooh, and the card of victory, also known as the Ace of Swords. So some of you might be getting clarity or information or downloads, even intuition downloads when it comes to a commitment that you've made, whether that be to a person, a job, a location. It's going to vary for most of you, but I'm picking up heavily mostly when it comes to relationships. So there may be some changes, endings, or new information coming through the relationship sector, particularly for my Cancerians who are in a commitment. So, okay, that's an interesting message. Let's go a little bit deeper and see what else coming through for my Cancerians. You have the card of integration. See, I got that song stuck in my head again, the Red Clay Strays. I just want to be loved. I can't remember. I got it in another reading. I want to say it's Gemini. It was Gemini's reading. Sorry, a hair stuck in my mouth. But it could have been Taurus. If you're connecting with those signs, maybe check out that reading. So anyways, you have the card. You have many cards here, and actually all of them quite interesting. You have the card of integration, which is talking about, groups of people, whether that be in the work environment, friend circle, family circle, whatever. And then you also have the card here of the source. And then you have the card of the inner voice. This is my intuition card. This is the tower in this deck. It's called the breakthrough and nothingness. So when I put all of these cards together, I feel like first and foremost, you're being asked to really listen to your inner voice, Cancer, and to not let other people dictate or persuade you when it comes to, I feel like, important decision making around a specific commitment that you have or to a relationship, okay? I feel like there may be big changes, big breakthroughs coming through, and it may feel like it's coming out of nowhere, but it's not coming out of nowhere, right? It's not coming out of the oblivion, but it may be coming out of the oblivious. You know what I mean? Like, it's like you didn't see it coming, or other people didn't see it coming, but yet it's been steady on track or on its way for a while, whatever this change or breakthrough is. And I feel like you're going to know what this means for you, because certainly you know what you've been thinking about and what you've been feeling. And some of you have been really praying or waiting for the opportunity for the coin to flip, or for something to change, or the right timing, or something of that nature, right? And so I feel like if anything else, getting new clarity or information will be coming through relatively soon. But for some of you, big actual manifestational physical changes as well. And they're highlighting your season, your birthday season. So this would be within the next, less than 6 months or so. But, you know, again, there's a lot of you here, so I want to be a little loose with the timeline, as this is not a private reading. But let's go a little bit further, though, and see what else we've got coming through for my Cancerians. So let's see, what else? Ace of Pentacles and the Five of Wands. High Priestess and the Five of Cups. So I feel like, you know, there's the card of commitment again. Some of you have been really struggling with something you've committed yourself to, or in a relationship, okay? And it feels like you're being pulled in two different directions. And this is why it's important to listen to your intuition, though, Cancer, because, you know, I think most people really mean well when they try to guide us with their advice. But the thing is they're not feeling your feelings and thinking your thoughts. They're not invested in your story the way you're invested in your story. So you kind of got to take all that outside feedback with a grain of salt. And really what you need to be consulting is your inner voice, your inner emotions. What do you want for yourself? How does it feel where you're currently at, right? Because I feel like there's big decisions here. And really needing to tap into that. Because some of you, you know, the Five of Cups is here. You've not been very happy, okay? It might have felt like things were a struggle, or that there was conflict here, or just feeling, you know, conflicted yourself possibly. And it's like, a lot of that is coming from things outside of you. Whereas if you were to go in, the only agreement you should ever be seeking, by the way, is the agreement with yourself and your higher self. That's the agreement you're truly seeking for. Because if you're looking for agreement, you know, from people outside of you, sometimes you're going to get it, sometimes you're not going to get it. Does that mean you're in the wrong or that they're in the right? Not necessarily. It just means you have a different viewpoint. And so it gets a little tricky, right? Like what is the right pathway? And that's why I encourage people to get familiar with their self-dialogue and their inner voice. And how do you know if you're in agreement with your higher self? It feels good when you think about it. Anytime you're in a space where you're flying high or feeling good, those thoughts that you're thinking in that moment are in agreement with your higher self, or how your higher self would see the situation. But if every time you go to ponder on something or dwell on something and it feels terrible, it brings you into the Five of Cups, misery, your inner being is not in agreement with the way you're choosing to perceive that. And so how do you figure it out? You got to feel around, you know, change the dial, switch your focus or the way that you're seeing it until you reach an agreement, until you move that dial enough to where you can feel the improvement in your feelings, and then you know you're going in more so in the right direction, right? It's a fine tuning that takes practice, right? But you were born with an emotional guidance system for a reason. And those powerful negative emotions are letting you know that whatever you're thinking, or perhaps what you're getting ready to do, may not be in your best interest. So back away from it, calm down, go meditate, go to sleep, think it over a little bit longer, change your perspective a little bit, soothe yourself around it. And then when you start feeling better and things start feeling a little more easy, you'll see things will start to fall into place, because you're searching for that path of least resistance. And you're not searching for it outside of you, Cancer. You're searching for that path of least resistance inside of you. Inside of you. So let's go a little bit further and see what else my Cancerians need to know. That makes sense now why I got the song, I Just Want to Be Loved. the Nine of Swords, Two of Pentacles, and the Two of Cups. So the Two of Cups and the Two of Pentacles actually came out in the reverse. So I'm just going to say it. Some of you are thinking about ending a relationship or a commitment. And if that's the case, then that decision needs to be made solely with you and your higher self's agreement, and not with the outside world, okay? It's got to be because you feel it's the right thing to do. And leave other people's ideas, by the way, of what's right and wrong out of it as well. Because some people will say, you know, you should never leave a commitment or a relationship because then maybe they was raised that way. I'll tell you, if you want to check in with your higher self sees relationships as fluid, as serving a purpose, but not ever forever, because you're eternal and life will always keep changing, and this life will end and a new life will begin, and your relationships are meant to ebb and flow with you. So your higher self doesn't hold a very strong opinion about the sanctity of commitment the way that you think or have been taught. But anyways, sorry. I just had to say that because it's obvious to me that some of you have been going back and forth or stressing over an ending in a commitment, or stressing over whether you should end something in a commitment. And this might be the time frame where you decide, right? But make it a decision that feels good to you, whichever direction you go. Now, of course, not all of you are going to be in that boat. Some of you, you know, there's been a lot of back and forth here, and what seems like stress to me over, you know, what the right thing to do is, or, you know, I've committed myself to this responsibility or this job or whatever this is. And again, if you're going back and forth on what's best, consult your higher self. Nobody knows better for you than your higher self. Nobody's been with you since the day you were born into existence except your higher self. Your higher self has been with you through every single thing you've ever thought of, felt, desired, wanted for, knows all. So that's the consultation you're really looking for here. So let's see what else we need to know here. King of Cups. Yeah, very emotional energy. Eight of Swords, sense of feeling restricted. I'm going to say as the cards come out, this is more and more becoming about relationship or a commitment in a relationship. And again, it's a general. The Sun and the Ace of Wands. So I feel like things have been weighing on you pretty heavy here, Cancer. And or you could be connecting with somebody who is feeling pretty heavy emotions. You could be going through, again, changes or conflict or endings in relationships or a specific relationship. But you're also getting a breakthrough. You're also getting clarity. You're also getting guidance. And, you know, there's this feel-good energy here available to you too. Like this inspiration of a chance at a fresh beginning, a new start. And it could be that you're having a renewal in a connection after a split or a change. Or it could be that you are just quite literally cutting the ties and going into a new experience in general, or a new relationship for some of you. But I feel like some of you have really held yourself back from allowing yourself to be happy because you think that, or you thought that maybe you needed to solve the current problem before you could allow yourself to be happy. And Spirit is saying, no, 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 no. First of all, problems don't get solved that way. You only perpetuate more problems when you handle them that way. But also, no matter what you're facing, and I know this is going to sound simple and it's not, but no matter what you're facing or what you're going through, there's never a reason to cut yourself off from the source of joy and love and happiness. And although it's hard to find happiness when you're going through a difficult time, it's necessary in order for you to get to your path of least resistance. Your path of least resistance is not in the struggle. It is not in the misery. You're not going to find it there. You've got to find a way to elevate yourself, to see the good in a situation, to see the positives in change and what endings can bring. And through that emotion of maybe even faith, we'll call it that, you begin to attract your path of lesser resistance or least resistance, which is the path that you're happiest on, right? Because there's several pathways to which your life can go down, but you want to be on the highest path, right? And the highest path is a match only when you're in the highest emotions. So some of you have caused maybe a little bit of unnecessary or your own suffering simply by staying stuck in the problem for a little bit too long. And that's all right though, because I feel like everybody has their timing and everybody has their threshold, right, of what they can take and when they're done. And, you know, yeah, I take it with a grain of salt. Take what I'm saying with a grain of salt as well, you know, consult your inner self. But yes, I feel like you're going to have a breakthrough. Long story short here, okay? And there is a happy ending here. And not to be cheesy, but you have the Sun and the Ace of Wands, which is happiness and inspiration and a new beginning. So I feel like, you know, don't be afraid in the dark because the light is here for you, Cancer. You are being guided. Pay attention to how you feel. Consult your higher self and feel around until it feels right to you. And then when it feels right to you, that's the right time. So let's see. And I also want to say, some of you, what I picked up on is an old ended relationship, and there is it's still active in your vibration. So for those of you who are in that group, this is more so about listening to your guidance, about letting go of the old story and start telling a new story the way you want it. All right, so let's see what the guidance card is. Card number 40. I intend to co-create from my place of positive attraction. The individual creators who are coming together must be in a place of positive attraction before they come together, or nothing positive can come out of the co-creation. If you're negatively focused and not feeling good, you can only attract others who are in the same state of negative attraction. That is why looking for a mate from a place of insecurity or lack of anything can never bring you the mate you want, but instead will only bring someone to you who will amplify your current lack. Pay attention. There, that's a very interesting card to get given the reading I just had. Okay, wow, that got deep fast. Let's go into the you versus them reading, and we're going to go a little bit deeper and see what else we get. I'm going to clear my energy and I'll be right back, so stay right there. I'll see you in just a second. Welcome back. All right, so Cancer, now I'm going to go back and forth between you and the person you may be connecting with. Keep in mind it is a general reading. Oh my gosh, I've gotten this same freaking card, excuse my language, for 3 readings. It's the past lives card. I want to say I got it in Taurus and Gemini again. Again, a reference to those zodiac signs. You could be connecting with those zodiac signs. Let's see, person you're connecting with has the card of control. So you could have had a past life with this person and or past history with them. This person is in the card of the 4 of Pentacles, which is the card of control. That could mean just quite literally what it sounds like. They're controlling, or they like to be in control, or they're searching for control in the situation. But we're going to go further and see. So we are going to look at how you both think and feel about each other, and then most likely So, and also, by the way, I got this comment. I have a lighting fixture up here, and it creates the shadow on my wall. And I didn't realize that until like I started reading my comments, and I kept getting messages about like, hey, you need to fix or paint your wall. I'm like, what are they talking about? And I was like, oh, okay. Because on camera, it looks like my wall is dirty, or I don't know, there's something on it. It's just a shadow. But yeah. I have a very observing audience. Okay, so anyways, how does Cancer, what Cancer think about this person? What is their perspective about them in the now? Cancer's perspective. 3 of Pentacles. King of Swords. Wow. There's kind of a harsh energy showing up here, and I don't know if that's because you think of this person as harsh with your emotions, you know, cold, not very caring, or if that's how you're showing up, Cancer, because certainly if you've been hurt, you could be, you know, quite brash with this person, but take it as it's resonating with you. It could be either or both. I feel like there was a time, you know, or maybe you still do, where you want to build with this person, or you wanted to build with this person, and there's a level of, you know, cooperation here, but there's also this harsh, you know, mean, I'm sorry, not sorry, but that's what I'm feeling, mean energy, you know, and it's disheartening. There's been obviously hurt here. Sadness is showing up here. And maybe you're hurt with the way that things played out, or with the way this person treated you, or maybe even hurt your own feelings for whatever reason. And yet the Queen of Pentacles is here, which is interesting because this is my most loyal queen. So maybe you have been quite loyal to this person. Some of you are committed to this person. But I'm also getting that this could represent, you know, oh, really? You felt you need to stay. That's very specific. But that's not what I was going to say. I was going to say, disappointed. There's a level of disappointment here. And it's almost like, you know, sometimes when we're not treated right, or somebody's mean to us, when we should distance ourselves or leave, sometimes we stay because we want this person to see our worth, you know, or prove to them they're wrong, right? Or you stick around in the hopes that they're going to come around to your worth. You know what I mean? Like, I know you know what I mean. So I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there. All right, so let's go into how they're thinking about the connection. 3 of Wands. 3 of Swords. This person's trying to move on from the heartache of something. 8 of Pentacles. Work on themselves. What else? Yeah. Revive themselves. Heal themselves. You know, there may be emotional distance or physical distance between you and this person. I think I'm picking up on a group of Cancerians who are either going through an ending in a committed relationship, or a relationship in general, or it's already happened in the past and yet it's still present in the energy. I don't know. Because I got almost the same exact messages in the spiritual reading. So if you're not in that group, sorry, come catch me next month, because that's what I'm picking up on. Like, I feel like, you know, there's a sense of like this person trying to move forward from heartache, and they may be isolating, keeping them to themselves, you know, or dedicating time to their own healing, to their own whatever it is that they're wishing for themselves. They may also be distancing or emotionally blocking you out as a form of control, or a form of like feeling in control of, I don't know, the situation or their emotions or whatever. Or you could be doing that. But Yeah. So let's see. How do you perceive this person then? What do you think about this person? Or sorry, we already did that. How do you feel underneath it all? Underneath it all, what do you actually feel for this person? Let's see that. The Wheel. Ten of Swords. Ouch. Definitely some hurt feelings. Ace of Wands and the Ten of Pentacles. And yet it's motivated you. Or it's motivating you to get your shit together. And that's kind of what I was talking about in the spiritual reading again. You know, sometimes changes or endings or breakthroughs, although uncomfortable maybe, they often serve as catalysts to new beginnings and to bigger and better things, right? And it's all about perspective and how you're going to choose to see it. And how you choose to see it matters a lot, because that's how it's likely going to play out, you know? So how do you choose to see it, Cancer? Like, that's the question that I'm being begged to ask you. What is your choice? There's karma here. There's divine timing. There's a sense of betrayal or an ending here. And yet there's a spark of passion and inspiration. And it's got to deal with getting a firm foundation under your feet, getting your shit together, you know, getting on top of things. So let's see this person's, how do they feel underneath it all? Some of you, the hurt is coming from, and the Ace of Wands now can be anger as well. So there could be hurt and anger here because of there was a foundation built, or you shared a home or a commitment or a long-term connection with this person. And so obviously that's going to evoke some emotion, right? But I could read it either way. How does this person feel? And maybe it's motivating you to get your stuff together to repair things with this person. Some of you, it's for that. For others of you, it's done, you know. So let's see. How does this person feel underneath it all? Ace of Swords, Five of Wands. They're conflicted in, you know, like what to think, maybe even how to feel. Or there's conflict around the connection. Justice. They're trying to find peace. They want fairness, but you know, life isn't always fair. The Emperor and the Two of Wands. Yeah, I feel like this person is in the space of trying to make peace with the conflict because they want to be in control, or seem in control, or feel like they're in control of their destiny, of their next step, right? And yet, even if this person isn't arguing with you out loud, they're always having, what do I say always? But it seems like they're having arguments with themselves as well. You know, a disagreement with themselves, which is funny because I was talking about the only agreement that you should ever be seeking is the agreement of yourself, to your higher self. And I feel like this person is having a disagreement, which is why they're feeling conflicted. And your person could benefit from listening to the spiritual part of the reading. They are trying to find peace with this in their heart, but it's mostly coming from a place of wanting to feel more empowered or in control, okay? And the Two of Wands. So again, there's that distance here, or that distant type of energy, looking to their future, you know, thinking about their future. So let's go into most likely outcome then, which of course can be changed with free will. Nice. Two of Cups, Four of Wands. Some of you are, wow, I didn't see that coming. Okay, there's two outcomes that I'm getting from this. Some of you are going to heal this, believe it or not, and have a reunion or stabilize the connection because you're soulmates, or you feel a very strong bond with this person, okay? And I feel an unexpected energy around that. You know, sometimes we think the grass is greener on the other side until we get to the other side. And then, you know. But for others of you that are not in that group, and you're going to know because you know what you want in your mind, right? There's a brand new connection on the horizon. A soulmate connection. Something that's more compatible with you. Something you've wished for. Yeah. That's why Spirit was wanting you to see this with optimism. Okay? Of what lies ahead. So let's see most likely steps on this person's side. Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. The Tower. They're going through some big changes. Maybe some ego deaths. Not physical ego. I mean like the breakdown or a breakthrough in their ego. That's helping them to see things from a different perspective. So they're having some sort of breakdown and at the same time a breakthrough that's helping to change their perspective, which is bringing about a change or an ending in the energy here. And out of that comes a commitment. So again, same message. Some of you, there's a breakdown and then a breakthrough and then a recommitment happening. Others of you, there's a breakdown, a breakthrough, an ending, and new energy, possibly new relationship coming through as well. Highly likely for my Cancerians, but something new coming through for this person as well. It's something that they can commit to. Oh, I can't wait to see the comments on this one. My goodness, and so specific, right? I know, like, listen, you're going to know if this is your reading because it's too specific not to know. So let's see what the guidance is then for my Cancerians. By my attention to things, I am making choices. Card number 50. What people do not understand is that you do not choose something by looking at it and shouting, yes, I would like some of that. You make your choices by your attention to them. In this universe that is based on attraction, when you look at unwanted things, your attention to that unwanted thing causes an activation of the vibration within you, and the law of attraction will bring more of it into your experience. Be careful what you're giving attention to. Solid advice there. All right. Wow. That was an unexpected ending. I might title this reading that. But anyways, zodiac signs you could be connecting with or have in your own chart. I was getting references to Taurus, Gemini, but I have Aquarius out twice as well. I also have Leo, Scorpio, Virgo, Aries, Libra. Yep. And Gemini again over there. Those are the predominant signs I'm seeing, but it's a general reading, so it doesn't have to be any of those. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it did resonate, let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future content. Help me get to 200,000 subscribers this year, guys. Yay. Also, you can follow me on Facebook. I'm doing daily free collective readings, so if you want a daily reading, you can check me out there. Sorry, indigestion. My bad. Okay. My Facebook is Tarot Time with Dana. It's also linked in the description box and in the About section. But otherwise, I'm wishing you the best either way. And until next time, my friends, namaste. Bye.